Imagine being trapped at the bottom of the sea, with no hope of rescue, for 3 agonizing days. This is the extraordinary true story of Harrison Okene, the lone survivor of the sinking of the JASCON-4 vessel at the bottom of the Gulf of Guinea. Find out more in this episode, only on our channel. The Gulf of Guinea, rich in oil and offshore oil drilling operations, sets the backdrop for this astonishing tale. On that day, 3 tugboats were assisting Chevron's tanker at mooring number 3, amidst rough seas and challenging conditions. The weather suddenly changed, and massive waves approached, slamming into the JASCON-4 tugboat carrying Harrison. The vessel capsized and sank to the bottom of the sea. Initially, due to concerns about piracy, the security protocol on the JASCON-4 required its 12 crew members to lock themselves in their sleeping quarters. Ironically, this precaution hindered their escape when disaster struck. Harrison, a 29-year-old ship cook, miraculously survived the tragedy because before the incident occurred, he woke up at 0:05 and decided to go to the bathroom. Ignoring the recommended protocol, he became the sole survivor of that deadly accident. Facing a terrifying situation, Harrison had to fight against the strong currents to open the bathroom door. Unable to follow the other crew members to the emergency exit, he could only watch in despair as some were swept away by the fierce ocean. He was forced into another nearby bathroom, holding onto an overturned sink, struggling to keep his head above the water in the confined space. After being tossed around in the devastated bathroom, Harrison found himself in a race against time to survive. As the JASCON-4 tugboat approached nearly 30 meters below the sea surface, the rescue operation began with boats and helicopters scouring the area. Divers were deployed and found the sunken wreckage of the vessel. They attempted to communicate with potential survivors, unaware that Harrison was still alive inside. However, limited resources forced the rescue mission to be prematurely halted, leaving Harrison trapped without salvation. In the dark refuge, Harrison faced various dangers. The cold temperature threatened him with hypothermia, while hunger, thirst, and darkness worsened his suffering. The sounds of creaking, debris striking the walls, and scavenger fish feeding on the deceased crew members added to his fear. But he continued to fight off despair, praying and thinking of his family to find solace. Meanwhile, a diving support vessel named Untitled Chapter arrived at the scene. The ship was sent to retrieve the bodies of the crew members who had lost their lives in the tragedy. The diving team faced perilous conditions, dealing with poor visibility and challenges in accessing the sunken vessel. Nonetheless, their unwavering determination pushed them forward. Seeing the group, Harrison attempted to knock on the vessel's hull with the last of his strength. Unfortunately, the divers failed to hear this signal and passed him by. As Harrison neared the brink of despair, a miraculous moment occurred. One of the divers, Nico van Heerden, accidentally touched a body he initially thought was a corpse. He was surprised when Harrison's hand grasped and held onto his. Finally, a plan was put in motion to bring Harrison back to the surface. Other threats emerged as well. Harrison faced the risk of decompression sickness, which could be fatal if he ascended too quickly to the surface. The rescue team carefully guided him through the process. With the assistance of oxygen and a diving helmet, Harrison was successfully brought safely to the surface, where he was reunited with the world he had thought was lost forever. Remarkably, Harrison had spent nearly 3 days at the bottom of the sea, defying all odds and defying logic. Media attention followed, not only on Harrison's story but also on the dangers faced by offshore workers, prompting discussions and further investigations into the site of the JASCON-4 sinking and driving changes in safety protocols within the maritime industry. Harrison's life changed unexpectedly after his rescue. The once simple cook found himself thrust into the public spotlight, becoming an international figure of inspiration and hope. He received numerous awards, including invitations to share his story at conferences and events worldwide. He used his platform to raise awareness about maritime safety and the importance of proper training and equipment for offshore workers. He also became an advocate for the rights and welfare of those working in the industry, ensuring that their voices were heard. In the following years, Harrison dedicated himself to supporting the families of his fallen colleagues. He established a foundation to honor them, providing educational scholarships and financial assistance to those left behind. The miraculous and tenacious story of Harrison Okene continues to inspire people all around the world. His resilience in surviving offers valuable lessons about hope, human strength, and the wonders that may occur amidst adversity. He is living proof that a strong will and determination can overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Who else would you like us to thoroughly explore? Write it in the comments section. See you in the next video.